All right, good morning, everybody. Mike here from Northeastern Dirt Property Maintenance. I'm trying to whip up a set of spike harrows here. I've got a couple unmatched old spike harrows here, a little bit different size, but that doesn't matter. All I really want them for is to knock off a little bit of high spots on the ground out here. And I want to whip up a set that can be pulled with a tractor or the four-wheeler. And I'm going to connect these spike harrows. I've got them upside down right now. You'll be able to use them any way you want. If you want a really, really deep cut, you can flip them over and you can cut 3 inches into the ground. And if not, you can roll them over and just do a nice dressing over the top, just kind of leveling things up without doing a lot of aggressive ripping. But anyway, I'm going to cut 4 chains and I'm going to weld them to this, and I'm going to make something that's towable with the four-wheeler or the tractor. So that's what I'm working on right now. I got to cut 4 chains. I'm going to weld them to that main header up there, and then I got to put a hitch on that main header, that pipe up the front, so I can hook it onto the tractor or the four-wheeler. I just pulled these out of the weeds. I've had them for years, and when I moved up here I brought them, so I thought one day I'm going to use them. Well, I need them now, so I'm going to work on them. Move this junk out of the way. I got a couple lengths of chain, and I'm going to split them in half. Alright, so I found a piece of old rusty chain here, and I'm going to use that to go to the trailer hitch or drawbar of the tractor, whatever, to pull this around. So I'm just going to connect the ends of these drawbar chains with a 3/8 bolt. Okay, so this is why I'm building that set of spike harrows. As you can see, I completely knocked off 2 points of this aldery, brushy bush here. And if you look, I knocked off this whole point. This point here used to jut out in the yard, so when I was cutting the lawn, I would go around this point in and cut the trail and back out. You look from the house up there, when you look out that front living room window from that house, MJ suggested, why don't we knock these points off? I knocked the first one off anyway, and I thought, well, now you can see right to the pond back there. So I knocked this point off right here, and I went back, and you can look at, I knocked off that whole second point out there. And really, it was just shitty alder scrub anyway, but nice ground underneath too. I wanted to kind of expose that. So, and I left that huge birch tree standing. So I knocked off this point right here, as you guys can see. There's all the garbage and debris. Right there, lots of junk. I'm going to push that further back. So now looking back there, you guys can see all that fresh earth. I completely cleared this just sporadically off and on in the evenings over a few days. here and there, and I cleaned it all out, and I'm going to turn this all into lawn. It's going to be lawn. There's a small pond back here, and it's going to be lawn all the way around through here. I just want it tidied up a little bit better, so when you're coming with a lawnmower now, and plus I like some open yard too, and I like seeing the wildlife come out across this backyard, and so I thought I'm going to clean out these shitty swampy alders. And it will be wet here in the spring because it always is. That low spot right there is always going to be wet in the spring, but as you can tell right now, it's already drained. So what I did here was I dug a massive hole, and I put all the junk from the last owner who lived here. He put a lot of junk in the bush. So I opened up a big hole, I buried it all, lots of rocks and just all kinds of steel and drywall and tarps, just garbage thrown in the bush. I don't know why people use their woodlots as a dumping ground. If it's confined to one area, no problem. But when you're just dumping it all over the place, I would never do that. That's not even in my mentality. But anyway, I dug a huge hole and I just filled it with demolition debris. And it's full of rocks, siding, everything. I capped it off right in the middle there. You can't even tell it's there. It's down 4 feet down. And I'm going to work all this ground with those spike harrows and that tractor, and I'm going to break up all these clods and everything, and then I will probably proceed to pick out any rocks that stick above the ground that are left, because I pulled a lot of rocks out of here, and garbage. And then I'm going to lawn seed it. I'm going to turn this all into lawn the same way I turned this area into lawn over here. This is now going to become lawn, and like I said, I picked through and I left a few of the big trees, some of them tamarack, a couple tamarack, and that white birch, a few white birch, I left them standing. They're just nice in your yard. I want trees. But these alders that were here, they really weren't doing me any good anyway. And I've got lots of alders. So, clean this, that's what I'm working on the spike harrows for. Okay, let's go in the shade. It's like 31 degrees out here. Hot as a fox in a forest fire, that's for sure. Okay, you guys, so you can see the obscene amount of rocks, sticks, and junk that those spike harrows pull to the surface, which is fine by me. Because what I'll do now is I'll take the bucket and I'll take a small rake or hatchet or whatever, and I'll go around and I'll pick up these roots, these rocks, this junk that come to the surface, and I'll do that a couple times, and eventually what you're going to have here, when it even dries a little bit more because it rained last night, you're going to have good topsoil to take hold and for your lawn seed in here and seed this all out. But that's not going to be for a few more trips yet, so I'm still going to keep working on it. So you guys seen that spike harrow, and it just brings the rocks to the top. Look at all that over there. Look at all those rocks that pop to the top when it grabs them. And that's good. That's all the less rocks that are going to be pushed up by frost heaves, sticking up for the lawnmower deck and just giving you a rough ride. So I'm going to keep working at this. I'll pick up all these rocks and stuff, but we're supposed to be in for a hot week. I checked the weather. It's supposed to go right up 32 degrees Celsius. This is going to be one hot week, and I say bring it on. You know what? Let's have summer. All right, good day, everybody. Mike here, Northeastern Dirt and Property Maintenance. I'm out here, and I'm working on this backfield extension, we'll call it. Sorry, expansion. And it's coming along beauty. It really is coming nice. It's a fair bit of work to get it this far. It's not just a matter of taking the alders out with the excavator and you know what, you got a cleared property. That's not quite how it works, but there's different phases here, and this part is pretty much almost done right here. This is almost ready. Alright, so the nice things about them spike harrows, they pull all the debris to the top. Anything that's remotely sticking out of the soil. When I'm going around breaking up them clumps and clods with those spike harrows, not only is it breaking up the soil, but anything remotely sticking out of the top, maybe your roots or bigger roots sticking out from these trees, it grabs right onto them and it tears them out. It also latches onto some of these rocks too, and it pops them right out of the ground. And I've hit a couple rocks with that with the machine where it actually jerked the machine, and I look back and it yanked out rocks like this big, so you can feel it in the machine. I was gonna pull it originally with a king quad and try it out, but no, it's no good. Too much work for the king quad to pull those spike harrows. It'll do it, and I did it. Too hard on that machine and that little frame of that machine in the trailer hitch, no good. So that's what tractors and track loaders are meant for. You can do a lot more ripping and tearing, and so as you can see, that's what it does. It just breaks everything up. And what I end up having to do is, I'll show you after, this is like just the beginning. Now I go around with the tractor and a bucket and I pick up all the garbage that comes to the surface, all the brush, the branches, anything small, the small rocks, I'll now load them in the bucket. And when that's done, then I'll hand rake. I'll hand rake the whole area and pick out the smaller stuff, and then that's how you end up with a product like this. If you look at this now, you see very minimal brush here. A little bit of roots I cut this morning because I was out here at 6 o'clock this morning and the bugs were horrendous. So I pretty much picked up all the roots. I got a couple left, but this is what you end up with. Once you're done raking, and take the fiskars and cut all the roots that stick up. And this is pretty much, with the exception of a couple spots, one way over there, I got a big root I gotta pull out. This is ready for seed, and then work the seed in. And but mind you, June is not a good month to be putting seed in, but we've had quite a bit of sporadic rain off and on, so I'm going to seed this down anyway, and I'm just going to turn it all in, the seed, rake it in, and just let it go, and it'll germinate. It might just take longer than normal, but I want to get it in the ground, and there's lots of rain in the forecast, so let's get at her. And these are the rocks that if you're not paying attention and you're cutting your lawn and you just hit them at the wrong angle, that's when you just clip them with your blades of your lawnmower. I've done it a few times, nothing hard, but you could just hear that blade bouncing off the top of them rocks. You got to be so careful, so I've tried to eliminate all them rocks sticking out. And a lot of these rocks that I pull out of here and there, I just kind of lay them on the edge of the bush like here. I've laid several in the bush because a lot of times I'll use them somewhere, whether it be a garden bed or I'll stack them up somewhere along the edge of the driveway, whatever. Sometimes you find a use for those rocks, so I kind of leave the ones I want, the appropriate size, right on the edge of the bush. All right, so I got a lot of the big stuff spike harrowed, gathered up and thrown in the junk over there. So now I'm gonna take the leaf rake. I'm gonna rake the top of this whole area by hand, pick up all the junk, stuff it back in the brush pile, and should pretty much almost be done, and it'll come out nice just like that other piece. So thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'm just working on this expansion here a little bit in my backyard here, and coming out nice. All right, thanks for tuning in.